vlog for Tuesday the 12th. It's 12:20 a.m. Or maybe I'll make it for Monday the 11th. I bought a little bit of weed the other day and lasted for a couple days for $13. Like a gram. I just ran out of it, but I'm not going to get more. If I bought more, that would constitute as a relapse. So I just did it to kind of, I don't know, get another perspective on what I'm doing. I'm getting going on a really time-consuming part of my project. It's like a part of it that's really big, time-consuming, that I wanted to do a long time. Google Earthing Rome. So I got this book called The Urbanization of Latium Vitas for $80 by the University of Cambridge Press, and I'm on page 61 out of, I guess, 431 now. Don't know when the actual writing ends, but for the last couple of days I was busy Google Earthing my timeline. Before I said I was going to Google Earth Livy, and I got a little bit through it, and then I was like, well, let's get going on what you already made. So I built a whole Earth on it. Ground, I made it just look like forest for the beginning times. And then I read the book, and they were saying how it changed between 1800 BC and 950 BC, which kind of is alignment with when Aeneas went over there. They had a bunch of little towns, I think a kilometer and a half around. And then, I can't remember. But yeah, little towns of 1 hectare. Yeah, as big as a racetrack. And I traced all of the racetracks in that whole area, as big as all of Latium, which is as big as Boulder County. And that's as big as how big the cities were. So that was interesting. It was interesting to compare what I was reading in the book with classifications of different sizes and physical sizes, ancient cities, because I'd never seen anything like that, on Wikipedia or anywhere. And then I bought this book, and it's answered all my questions. So they were super small a long time ago. It's as big as a citadel from a castle. And so there are a lot more of them, and they were spread only 2 kilometers apart and stuff. So I got the idea to Google Earth that, because it just seems super fascinating, something I wasn't familiar with. Choose a certain area. I wouldn't do all of Latium because that would take too long. But maybe the original Kingdom of Rome. 100 and, what's his name? Not Edward Gibbon. Mommsen said that the original Rome, I guess Romulan Rome, was 115 square miles, so maybe that. Everything in there, in that area. But I wanted to do from the beginning of humanity, though. On Google Earth, illustrated on Google Earth. So that it's all, their whole lifestyle is, it's like writing a treatise, a whole chapter in a book or a whole book about the life of cavemen only, but with just showing it with Google Earth. So all the different social groups connected, and then how stuff gets introduced, how they trade, and the animals they interact with. Maybe with each extinction of an animal, you would make a new map, but then I would do it. But I think I'd do it just based on time. I'd start 8 million years ago, because I'd want to start at the very beginning where humans and gorilla diverged, and a lot of interesting stuff there happened before then. Anyway, 600,000 years ago, the Alban Hills exploded and spewed the lava all over Latium, which is how the hills got started. It went and eroded between them. So Yeah, it would be super interesting to make, and to kind of, yeah, illustrate passage of time and how everything is developing in there. Like, I was thinking of doing it in terms of maybe like lives. And then maybe I would have my lives even color coded, like 1, 2, 3, like in groups of 3, covering 100 years for 3. Although that's if it's a human, with each generation being 33 years. That's how Herodotus estimated it. But with cavemen, I think it would be a lot less, so you'd have to change it. So I would want it to be accurate. But yeah, just have it as like number of people down here in relation to where it is on the timeline, and then I guess show the beginning frame and end frame and what happened between that. Yeah, incorporate it with my timeline or something. I haven't really thought of it that much because I was busy copying and pasting everything from Rome for my timeline. Because beginning, like before, I wanted to just do it based on Livy, and I even created the menu for it on Google Earth, like all the different chapters and books, and then I saved it also as a template in case I want to do that for another book. I already have it with the books and chapters, but and then I started getting through Livy, and then I was like, wait, it's easier to just do it with a timeline, so I'll do it with both eventually. But I just went over the timeline and just copied and pasted everything I have written about Rome on my timeline on Google Earth, and everything that's mentioned. Oh man, my tongue is getting like totally dry, bone dry. Everything that I mentioned on the timeline, like like if a political thing happens, like they change the number of tribunes or something, I'll write it. I'll illustrate it on Google Earth. Like I'll have an image of 2 people standing in the Capitol or something like that. But wanted to just everything that was written in my timeline, have it illustrated on Google Earth. And figure out a way to, I mentioned every single tribune, consul. But I think just the primary consul. I didn't name 2 consuls, but every year I had another consul. So what maybe I would like to, I was thinking about maybe change what Rome looks like every year, because I have another consul, and just have like an additions to Rome section. Like I'll have the mother lode, the base map of Rome at the beginning of the century or something, and then be like, click here for the addition, and then just a few more houses would happen. I don't know. That'd be super fancy, but yeah. I also took a screen capture of a volcano, like in Java. I think I went to it, Mount Monra, but it's only like, what is it, like less than 2 kilometers across, and it's like 1,000 meters high, and it has a little like brown top, but it shows all of the different ravines coming off the side. So I did a screen capture of that, and I want to go into Photoshop and make it a circle PNG, which I forgot how to do, but I remember there's like a YouTube tutorial on how to do it. And then put it on top of, superimpose it, because I think it's the same color forest, on top of all the hills in Rome, to make it look like they're like hills with the ravines coming down. See what that looks like. Make the ground look as realistic as I can. I was thinking about, I think I'm going to have to organized all the different images of the ground from the forest that I have in all of Latium organized into their respective tribes. So I can add new developments in how the civilization works. Like the book said that a big, like in the copper Bronze Age, for like 500 years or something before the Iron Age, like the big cities had a size of like 50 hectares. A lot of time, yeah, like less than like 4 kilometers around, or smaller than that. I can't really remember, but it had like 5.5 kilometer radius, so like 11 kilometer radius, like zone where the people would go out and work, and influence zone. So that would kind of like be their whole area, which is a different way than I thought it before. Like they had borders, but it's more like just a small area, and then there's kind of like a neutral territory, and then there's another one. But then they were like 2 kilometers across, so I guess, yeah, they were only that big. Yeah, so just tiny little states, smaller than I thought. So, yeah, write that. Did I already say that? Anyway, yeah. So that's what I'm doing. I also did all the Roman Empire too, so got it all prepared on there. So, anyways, kind of like a brain fart. When I go back there, I will start to, oh yeah, I was reading the book and making all the different sizes of stuff I was tracing out with the circle tool until it got to the size that they said, and then saved it, all the information, and then I'll go in later and make like images of circles that big, so I can drag them around and see if I can make like a lot of different, villages that big for when I make it in the area. But I wanted to go down all the way from the beginning of humanoids, and I read that in 850,000 years ago was the first human found in like Italy, which was only like a couple 100 kilometers northeast of Rome. So I could imagine humans being there that long ago, so I can make people there. And that's before the volcano went off. So, and one of them even went off only like 3,500 years ago, not including Vitruvius, which is one that even went off in history that we have a story about. So it's an exciting period to show, but I wanted to show like the evolution of everything, all the humans, from way back then all the way to the present. And I guess especially over the last, I don't know, 100,000 years, or like whenever, do a lot of detail from when there were different human species living at the same time and interacting. It'd be interesting to like make Google Earth stories about that. Anyways, it's super interesting. My roommate moved out because he worked in Denver and didn't want to commute all the way out here. It was too expensive. But I can't really be bothered to get it's nice to have a place to myself, but I can't really be bothered to get another roommate. So I told my mom to just do all of it for me. So she said she would, so that's cool. I can just hang out and, yeah, just get done with this book, get through this book, and check out, read the book, and yeah, get going on the Google Earthing of archaic and all the different ages. You know, have their own, like Bronze Age, early Bronze Age. They have their own Google Earth pattern that I can make. So it's, yeah, probably gonna take a while, but it's an interesting, super interesting. Because yeah, a lot of new stuff I haven't thought of before. I didn't know kingdoms were that small, or little tribes were that small territory. Only 2 kilometers between them. Anyways, talk to you tomorrow.